So here's where I'm confused. I got clocks all over this room. I got a buzz clock. I got a time clock. I got Eric in the other room.
With all his fingers.
All he does is smile. I don't know if he's laughing at me.
He's having the time of his life.
So, and then Al, you have to understand, Al, what in the heck are you? You got paper with signs all over this room. Exercise, wife. Why would you put those two next to each other? Love, cars, Reagan, Trump. Listen, we got a guest coming on in the next segment. His name is Robert Sherman. Super guy, super story, Superman. I love this guy. Can't wait to interview him. Let's get him ready. Robert Sherman coming up next on WSRQ Radio. Welcome back to WSRQ Radio Talk Show.
Sarasota
Business.
Talk Radio.
Why can't you just let me learn on my own, Al? This is my first virgin run. Here. Yeah. This is why Dave is not here. I feel like it's the football game, my very first football game.
It kind of is.
We should play the national anthem because that's how it always. My heart starts pumping.
My goodness! If I sing that, it will really clear the building.
Yeah. Don't. All right, Dave Kaufman is not here. Okay, next topic.
And we are. And
we are Al Grabowski, Todd Saylor, and he's actually a friend of mine, and he's a brilliant man, Robert Sherman. I actually invited someone else, but he couldn't show, and Robert was like 9th on my list.
95th alternative.
But you answered on the first ring.
I did. It was a mistake.
I know.
It's a huge mistake.
I thought
you wanted to call me about a real estate question. Lo and behold, you said I want you to be on my radio show.
And I thought you were a different realtor.
I am. Yes.
Well, let's talk about you.
I'm masquerading.
Okay, so let's get serious for a second. Al,
that's going to be really hard.
I know. Real estate. I love real estate. Done very well in it. And one of the people that introduced me to Sarasota real estate, Bradenton, the whole area over here is Robert Sherman.
I made you who you are today.
I am who I am because of Robert. But we saw so many. I mean, I think it's interesting on how many people you show things to and how many properties you show people and you put up with them. And tell us a little bit about the Sarasota market and your thoughts of where it's going and why you've been so successful, Robert.
Well, to me, it's a very exciting time for Sarasota, as you well know. We've still got some opportunities in foreclosures and short sales, though they're a lot fewer. If you look at the calendar on a regular basis, there are days now that you don't see any foreclosures, whereas even 12 months ago, you might see every single day on the calendar was filled with foreclosures. And so you have to look harder. You have to work harder. You have to be out there searching for those distressed properties in the hopes that you can
find
something.
So in 2000, when did it really start? When did it pile up? 10?
9, 10, 11. Yeah.
Figured 10 years to dig our way out of this.
Yeah.
And so at one time, there was this, what kind of volume did we have here of property that was
inventory?
Inventory,
huge,
an enormous amount of inventory. Huge. Too much. It was so great that it couldn't be absorbed. And it was like a 6-year absorption rate.
Right, and that's when we met.
Yeah.
Al,
and boy, do we have a story to tell.
Oh Lord, we have lots of
it was incredible. The commercial property was discounted 60%, if I recall. Residential was discounted. The people were buying commercial property at $2-3 million and selling it for $400,000.
Yeah,
that's not exaggerating.
No,
it was
you're
an
not
absolute
exaggerating
bloodbath.
It was, and we seem to be Sarasota. To me, seemed to be the epicenter of it. I think when 1350 sold and there was a line of people out the door to make a reservation, if you remember, I think they sold them out in 2 hours. And to me, it was like that was the building. That was the building where this earthquake started and everything started to radiate
and that's
away from that.
Because there's virtually no industry in this town on a relative scale. If you go up to New Jersey, New York, Chicago, in 1 square mile, you have everything in this town and the neighbors in 1 square block sometimes. So because there was no commercial, because there's very little business on a relative scale, everything is based on tourism,
service
and
industry.
Residential. And when that market collapsed, it was like a vacuum.
I honestly remember planting my flag, going downtown Sarasota in the horrible time that we were in, and buildings were still gurgling in Sarasota. And I thought
what year was the
10?
Oh, it was into it.
We were way into it.
Yeah,
I would say
but the world
7
wasn't.
Was,
but Sarasota's special.
8 is where it collapsed.
7 and 8.
Yeah.
I saw you could see a leveling off of business and then a decline.
But tell me right now, Robert, I see buildings everywhere downtown Sarasota. Talk to me about commercial. What is going on? Who's building all these things?
This is a boom town.
It's crazy.
If you look downtown
everywhere
right now,
you go.
It's amazing. So we were the epicenter of when we fell apart. I think we're the very epicenter when it came back. I really, really believe that. And if you look around town today, there must be 7 or 8 cranes. I mean, we just had the loft just finished.
More than that.
And that's apartments. And I just talked to the manager of the loft, which is on Ringling and Palm. So it's a hotel/apartment building. And it's a really classy, nice place. And if you haven't seen it, you should go. They have already rented out 96% of their units in there. And the only reason why they haven't rented out the rest, they're not finished. They're not finished. So they're like right on the cusp of being at 100% occupancy, which to me says a lot about what's going on in Sarasota. So you just look along Gulfstream and you can see the view. I think they may only have 6 or 7 units left to sell in there, and they'll be completely sold out. The Demarque, which Sotheby's is listing, they've already got 11, 15 reservations. They're going to break ground in June. Then you've got the Mark, which has just opened a new office.
Right.
They're going to be selling. And so there is just a litany
the city's
of new
participating with parking garages. Now, you said something to me earlier.
Yeah.
And I want listeners to understand this because it just intrigued me a little bit. Maybe it seems simple to you, Al. He said the skyline.
Everything's simple to Al.
The sky. You only known him 20 minutes.
I know.
You got him.
See how easy it was.
Listen, Robert said to me, Todd, the skyline is changing.
Oh yeah.
I never thought about it like that.
Totally.
In the Sarasota does not look the same.
You will not recognize it. By the end of the year, you won't recognize downtown. There's that many buildings, commercial, big time people coming.
So what, Robert? What's that mean to small businesses? What does that mean in industry? We've got a changing skyline.
It's a hot town.
Well, I was going to say it just raises the bar for small companies and entrepreneurs to really get into that market, to use their skills, to adapt to what's happening in Sarasota, and to really just explode if they want to, do it. And it's just a matter of putting forth the effort, thinking out of the box. I mean, I think what Jesse Biter did was really great for Sarasota in bringing in this think tank of young entrepreneurs that really can think out of the box and grow businesses.
Who's Jesse Biter?
I don't know. I've never heard of. I've seen him one time in town. He's a pretty reclusive guy, but he's a really great guy at generating ideas and putting people into positions where they can really be successful in small businesses. And so I think that's been a really good thing for Sarasota.
Yeah, he is a nice guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great guys, a lot of great people, a lot of great female leaders in this community.
Absolutely.
And we're very fortunate. So let's digress a little bit. Let's go back
That shouldn't be hard for us.
Right. Let's bring it back to real estate in the homeowners market.
Yeah.
Water was clearly a dead piece to go to several years ago, 8, when everything went. And then it was the first thing that came back, correct?
Correct.
Now,
and probably held its value more than others, so because there's only a certain amount of it, right?
Yeah, but there was a lot of foreclosures on that, which was not, I shouldn't say a lot, but disproportional compared to the rest. But so the water started to bounce back. So is the land property coming along now too?
Well, that's fascinating because I think what happened was banks did not want to get saddled with these enormous properties, meaning these $3 and $4 million properties, so they never foreclosed on them. If you actually
You're saying
waterfront properties, expensive waterfront properties, because they didn't want them on their books. Nice. And so they waited and waited and waited to foreclose. And if you look at the schedules today, more of those now are going to get handed back to the bank because now they can withstand. Well, they can just withstand the extra baggage on their books, so to speak. And so you're going to see more of those start getting moved off the books as well.
Well, Al, that makes a lot of sense because when I first met him, I bought
Robert.
Yeah. I bought. When I first met Robert, we bought a piece of property that we bought on the short because it didn't foreclose. It was not foreclosed. No one had inhabited it in almost 8 years. And so that's
8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
Wow.
8
and that's
years.
on the water.
On the water.
On the water.
Wow.
And there was a lot of
Cortez. Amazing views. Great little piece of property.
You couldn't get to it.
Nope.
So Robert went and found the owner for me.
Really?
This is a serious story. in a bar, probably.
Close to it.
Yeah.
It was definitely close to the bar.
And he pulled a Harvey. And he told him he needed to sell me the house on the short. He tracked him down and convinced him to sell me the house on the short.
You did that, so you tracked him.
He's not only a real estate.
I went to his door. So it's 9:00. He owned like 30 properties, right, all over the city. And so I said, I got to be able to find this guy. So
you sat at his door for hours.
I sat at his door and waited for him to come out. And he goes, so who are you? And I go, well, I'm Robert Sherman. He goes, and I told him about the property. I said, I'm pretty sure this is your property. He goes, oh, it's my property. He goes, I just want you to know I'm very unethical. And I went, oh, man,
you're my guy.
Have a great time with this short sale. And I go, so I called Todd, and he said, okay, well, let's see what we can do. And a year, it took us a year to get that thing done, right? Over a year.
Yeah, but you had him in a headlock.
I had him in a headlock. I didn't let him go. And I had to buy him a beer. But, here's the great thing about that.
I had to do more than that.
You bought that at an amazing discount. You restored and renovated that property. And today,
we're
that
friends.
Is a spectacular piece of property.
But the store is more about you.
It can be about you. I don't mind.
The extra lengths that you go through for your customers.
Well, look, I like this business because it's always different. It's always challenging.
Alan, have you ever heard of anyone to be a private detective along with?
Well, I know some people don't even answer the phone when you call.
No.
Yeah, that can be a problem.
Oh, Robert's the opposite. You had to tell him to get off his stinking phone when we came in. He's on his phone in between breaks here, and we're like, Robert, dude, this is a really important show. Do you know how important I am?
There's tens of thousands of people.
Tens of thousands. That's
Millions.
what I heard. That's
Billions.
what I heard.
Anyways.
All in China.
Anyway. How much time do we have? Eric?
Uh-oh.
Time to go. He's giving me the finger.
That's right.
To get off the air. WSRQ Radio. We'll have Robert Sherman back in a moment now.